Okay, in Java also we have multiple keywords, but each and every keyword, it has its own importance or its own significance. Okay, now let me list down all of the keyword, and throughout our session we are going to discuss about all these keywords. So in particular, let's say like if we are talking about the collections, so this collections has some specific keywords, and when it comes to the exceptions, we are going to have some keywords. When it comes to object oriented program, we are going to have some keywords. In the same way, like when it comes to the modifiers, we are going to have some keywords, and also data types, and also arrays. So for each and every keywords, keyword, it has its own significance. Okay, if you are able to understand perfectly, definitely you will be an expert in the Java. Okay, so today let's see what are the keywords, all these things. So 1 minute, let me just note it down. So if you notice here, just 1 minute. If you see in Java, we have total 53 keywords. Each keyword has its own significance. Okay, so only throughout Java, only these keywords we are going to use. If you are familiarized with these keywords, definitely you will be an expert in Java. Okay, so we have total 53 keywords are there, 53 keywords. Okay, so are we going to learn all the keywords? Definitely not. Some of the keywords are legacy keywords, but don't worry what is the legacy terminology. So when it comes to that particular keyword, I'm going to talk about that one, why it is called legacy and why we don't need that keyword to be used in our automation. Okay, we have total 53 keywords. So only these 53 keywords are being used in Java. We don't have any other keyword. Okay, now let me list down all of them. Okay, so now first thing is keywords for data types. So don't worry what are the data types and all. We are going to discuss in the upcoming classes and all. Keywords for data types. Keywords for data types. So don't worry what is this data type. We are going to discuss here. If you see, we have a big topic for to discuss about the data types. Okay, so here we have total 8 keywords. Total 8 keywords we have. So one is the byte, short, SHORT is short, int, long, float, double, and boolean, and then char. Okay, so when we are talking about the data types, when you are trying to store your data, we are going to store in the form of total 8 keywords. So we are going to store data in the different forms. Okay, so when we are storing the data, we are going to use the different data types. So these data types, how we are going to represent? We are going to represent using these keywords. One is the byte, short, int, long, not float, it's a float. Float, double, boolean, and char. Okay, so when you are trying to store your data, we are going to use these data types. These data types are used to store our data. Okay, now next one. So I will share this document. Okay, the next one. So next one is the keywords for flow control. Keywords for flow control. Okay, so what is flow control here? So we have flow control topic to be discussed clearly. So don't worry what is flow control. So we should have better idea and better understanding in our Java. Okay, flow control. So generally I'll give high level. Flow control means how you are going to control the piece of code you have written in your code. So now just for example, if you have 100 lines of code, so how this code is going to be executed? Is there any conditions like if else conditions, or is there any looping, or is there any special conditions? So when you apply a conditions like if else or switch case or ternary conditions or some other conditions, your flow is not going to be executed as you have written. It is going to be executed based on the keywords that you are going to apply. Okay, so here we have around 11 keywords for this one. Okay, 11 keywords. 11 keywords. So let me list down if, else, switch, case, default, while, do, for, break, continue, and then return. Okay. So if you notice here, we have total 11 keywords for flow control. To control the flow that you have applied in your code, it is going to, all these keywords are going to control the code that you have written in your project or like in your scripts and all. So if you see how many are there, we have total 11. If else, there are conditions are like looping, or breaking, or continuing, or returning, something like that. Okay. So these things, each and everything we are going to discuss, and we are going to see where and all we can apply all these keywords. Okay. So the next one, keywords for modifiers. Keywords for modifiers. Keywords for modifiers. Okay. So we have 11 keywords for modifiers. 11 keywords. Okay. So what are those? Okay. So public, private, protected, static, final, abstract, synchronized, native, strict FP, and then transient, and then volatile. Okay. So if you notice here, we have total 11. So let me 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, we got 11. Okay. So total 11. So what are these modifiers? So we have a topic. We are going to discuss modifiers here. Okay. So just modifiers means what level of access you are providing for your functions. So basically Java is the combination of the classes. That means whatever project or like whatever code that you are going to write is the collection of classes. One class is nothing but the collection of variables and functions. So when you are trying to create a class or when you are trying to write a function, so what is the level of access for your function? So who can access, whether like entire project, or only particular people, or like only particular package people, or who and all can access your project. So which is going to be decided by these modifiers. So here we have total 11 modifiers. So in which we are not going to worry about last 5 keywords. Okay. So these are all like one of them, the legacy keywords, like this one and this one and this one, legacy keywords. Legacy means we are going to discuss what are those we are not going to use, but we are going to use only first 6 very, very effectively in our functions are like classes. Okay. Last 5, you no need to worry. We are not going to use anymore or anywhere. 99% we are not going to use these things. Okay, but still we should know what is what. So total we have 11 keywords in modifiers. And next, what else? Okay, so keywords for exceptions. Keywords for exceptions. Okay, so here we have a big topic for exceptions, where we are going to discuss all the keywords that we are going to see now. So here, if you notice, try, catch, finally, throw, throws, and asset. Okay. So these are the 6 keywords that are available in the 6 keywords in the exceptions area. So what is exception? So something is unexpected when you are trying to execute your program. That is called the exceptions. You don't know what is going to happen in the runtime. So for example, if you are going to some shopping, you don't know, like if you are riding a car or if you are riding a bike or if you are riding a cycle, there is a possibility to get your tire punctured. So this kind of things are exceptions in the Java. Also, when you are trying to run your program, you don't know what is going to happen in the runtime. So if in that, when you are into such situation, you have to handle that situation. That is called the exception. Okay. So to handle all these things, we are going to use some of the keywords that is called try, catch, finally, throw, throws, etc. Okay. And what else? Okay. Class related keywords. So we have total 6 keywords for 6 keywords. Okay. What are those things? Class, interface, extends, implements, okay, and then package, and then import. Okay. So this one is the part of we are going to cover as part of the OOPS concept, object-oriented program. So when you create a class, we have to apply class. When you create an interface, we have to apply interface. When you are trying to extend from one class to another class, we are going to do that. When you are trying to implement interfaces, we are going to use this one. When you are trying to import a package, we are going to use this. So yeah, for each and everything, we have one significance. Okay. Now, next one. So this one we are going to discuss as part of this object-oriented program. Now, next, what else? Object-related keywords. Okay. So now let me list down new instance of super and this. Okay. So Java is completely not 100%, but almost it's going to be object-oriented program. So when you are creating an object, how are you going to create an object? So using new keyword. How are you going to check whether this object is belonging to particular class or not? We are going to check with instance of. And then how are you going to talk, or how are you going to interact with your parent class constructors? Super. How are you going to interact with current class constructors? Called the this. These things also we are going to cover as part of this OOPS concept. Okay, we are going to cover here everything. The next one. Okay, so here if you notice, we have total 4 keywords. Next one. 1 minute. Okay, so another one, return type keyword. Okay, so return type keyword means, so let's say if you are trying to input something, definitely you are going to expect something, right? Let's say you are just inputting something at the end after completion of your work. Definitely you will expect something as an outcome. So here return type keyword means there are a number of things are there, but official keyword we are going to use the void. But other than this one, we can return the current class object. That we'll discuss later. Okay. So if you are trying to input and if you are not expecting anything, so that time we are going to use the void as a keyword. Okay. But don't worry, this one very frequently we are going to see in each and every topic that we are going to discuss. The next one. Okay. Unused keywords, I think so. Unused keywords. Okay, and we'll go to and then const. Okay. So if you notice here, there are 2 keywords. These keywords were there in Java. Now they were deprecated. Go to and constants. Go to and const were there in the 1.0 version, but later they have deprecated. Now no more, no one is using go to and constant. Maybe like when you go for an entry, there is a possibility. They might ask, where are you going to use go to and const keyword? So don't confuse. You can say they are deprecated and no one is using this. They are unused keywords in Java now. Okay. Now let me go back and count. I think we have few more things. 1 minute. Let me. add a couple of keywords. Okay, so reserved literals keywords. Okay, so what are these reserved literals? So generally, so let's say if someone is asking you, what are you going to either yes or no? Okay, so for that in Java we don't have yes or no concept, but instead we have true or false and null. Okay, these three are reserved keywords for literals, but we'll see what is literal and null. Don't worry, we are going to see it. So as part of here somewhere we are going to discuss literals. If you notice here, there is a literals concept. Okay, so if you notice here, let me go back and count how many we have got. So these are 8. One minute, let me clear this. These are 8 plus 11, 19, 19 plus 11, 30, 30 plus 6, 36, 36 plus 6, 42, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52. I think we are missing one more. Yeah. Another one is the enum keyword. So this is kind of advanced topic, but yeah, I'm going to teach about this enum high level, but we don't need to talk about enum definitely. So these are the total 53 keywords we are going to use, in which this is the keyword definitely we are not going to discuss very much on this keyword one, and these two anyhow unused keywords, no need to worry, and we are not going to use. 3 keywords are gone. And what else we are going to get rid of are like these 5. So that means total 8 keywords we are not going to discuss out of 53. So that means remaining 44 keywords we are going to discuss very, very thoroughly. Okay, when you start using one by one, you will be able to relate what is this keyword and why it is being used. Okay, so these are the total 53 keywords are available in Java. Okay, now let me just go to any Java package and see, is there any other keyword other than these 53 keywords? Okay, 1 minute. I can go to, so I'm going to open any existing Java class files. Okay, 1 minute, I'm just going here. So this one you no need to memorize all of them. So as we go on, yeah, by default, like you will be getting all these keywords. You no need to memorize. When I talk some modifiers, yeah, by default you will be able to tell like all these 11 keywords. Exceptions. So when you are familiarized with exceptions, without these keywords, definitely you cannot even think of about exceptions. Just 1 minute. I'm trying to get. So this is one of the other batch things that we are doing. Okay. Now, if you go here, very simple. Now, I just wanted to go in one place and show you. So I'm going to one of the existing Java class file. Okay. So here, if you notice here, even if you notice here, whatever keywords that I have mentioned, everything is highlighted in the dark blue color here. See package, import, and then public, class, static, void, new, int, for, if, return, something like that. See, if you notice here, whatever I have mentioned here, so everything is available in this Java class. So if you go here, see, this is the public class. So somewhere it is there public. You realize, see public is here. And then if you are trying to see static. So using these keywords, you can identify what you are trying to do it. These keywords are going to drive your entire class files or functions or whatever it is. Okay, so without these keywords, definitely you cannot write code. Yeah, if you notice anything for int, so if you notice like for int, even like public, and then what else we have? Void also we have just seen somewhere like void, right? So these all keywords are very, very important, except those 8 keywords, whatever I have mentioned. Those keywords are really not required for our automation. Only 44 keywords we are going to discuss. 44 or 45, whatever it is. Okay. So now this is about the keywords. And next one, let me save this one and put it away. Keywords. Next one is very, very important. Just take a look. We are going to spend next 15 to 20 minutes on the next topic. Okay. So I'm going to create one more notepad. Okay. So let me close this one and come here. Okay. Yeah, just 1 minute. So now next topic that we are going to discuss, identifiers. Okay, so just be focused here. So this is also very, very important. Okay, so this reserved keywords, just we wanted to know how many keywords are there, and later we are going to learn how we are going to use the keywords. Now next one is the identifier. What is the meaning of identification? Identification. So let's say like how I am going to identify. So you have one name. So let's say like if you have some name like Navya. So by calling your name, you will be identified, right? For each and everything, not only like your name or physical objects or like virtual objects, anything, how to identify, it will have its own properties or characteristic. So in the same way in Java also, we have so many things to be identified. So what are those things? Let's see, and how we can identify whether it is, let's see, just I'll give one small example so that you will be able to relate it. Okay. Now, so you have a house. Okay. Just for example, I'm giving one example. Okay. So when this is a house, some house. Okay. When you enter here, so generally like when you go to any of your friend's house, so as soon as enter into their home, you will be able to identify what is kitchen. I mean, where is the kitchen? So by seeing that on that particular room or like particular area inside the house, you will be able to tell, okay, this is the kitchen by seeing that one. So that person is no need to tell you, hey, this is my kitchen. By seeing some of the characteristics or by seeing some of the attributes, you will be able to tell that particular area is kitchen. In the same way, whether it is the balcony, something, or hall, right, or restroom, or bedroom. So this one, no need to tell you. As soon as you see it, you will be able to name it what it is. Right, definitely for normal and common objects, by seeing that one, when you are going on road, definitely when you see bus, when you see car, or when you see some lorry, something like that. So you will be able to differentiate easily, or like car or train or aeroplane. So by seeing, you will be able to differentiate what it is. The same way in Java also, by seeing some of the properties or some of the attributes, some of the characteristics, you should be in a position to tell whether it is a function or whether it is a variable or whether it is a class or whether it is an interface or whether it is a block. Something like that we are going to tell. But let's see what are the members are available in Java and how to identify those members in Java. Okay. So this is very, very important. Why? Because so when you are trying to attend for an interview, definitely when you are trying to write a piece of code, they will observe whether you are following the standards or not. Okay, so one thing here, even if you don't follow the standards also, Java will work. That means when you have a house, if you don't cook in the kitchen, you can cook it, no problem. So it doesn't say I'm not going to be cooked if you don't cook in the kitchen, right? If you don't in the sleep, you are going to get sleep, even if you are sleeping in the bedroom, hall or kitchen or balcony, you are going to get sleep. It doesn't mean you are not going to get the sleep. But when you have the particular place or particular environment, definitely your experience is going to be better. In the same way in Java also, even if you follow or if you don't follow, Java is going to work. When I see it, I will definitely be confused. So definitely be confused in the sense you'll be confused between like what is kitchen, what is hall. If you are like combining and doing all these things in all the places, definitely you are going to be confused. In the same way, if you don't follow the standards in Java, definitely whoever is going to review or whoever is going to use your project, they are going to get confused. Okay, so that's the reason these are very, very important, and we have to follow the standards when you are declaring. Now, so what are the members in Java? Okay, now first thing is the class. Okay, second one. So here we are talking about the identifiers. Now later I will talk. First we will try to identify the members, and then we'll see how to identify class, whether this is a class or not, how we can identify. First let me talk about the members. Okay, class. Next one is the variable. Okay, next one is the function. Next one is the constructor. Okay, and next one is the blocks. Okay, blocks means here two types of blocks are there. Instance and static. Okay, and then constants. What else we have? Class, variables, functions. Function or method, both are same. And then constructor, and then variables, and then blocks, and then constants. Okay, don't worry what are all these things we are going to discuss. But first thing is you should know how to identify, how to write, how to maintain the standards for these things. Okay, so now let me one. Okay, so and when it comes to Java, what are the letters and numbers are allowed in Java? What are the numbers and letters are allowed to declare your members? So you can use A to Z, A to caps G, and then A to small g, and 0 to 9. And special symbols, you can use only dollar and underscore. That's it. You cannot use any other special symbols when you are declaring your members. When you are declaring your members, you cannot use other than these keywords. I mean, other than these letters A to Z or A to G, 0 to 9, all these things. Okay. Now let me do it for you one by one. Okay. So how to declare a class? How to identify whether this is a class or not? Okay. Always keep in mind, class is going to start with a caps letter. Caps. That means if you are trying to declare a home page. So here your name is going to start with, this is about the class. Okay. 1 minute. About class. Class always starts with caps letter, and then followed by, if you have any words in your class, each word must be declared with caps letter. Each word must be declared with caps letter. Home page confirmation, something like that. I'm giving some naming. I'm giving. So if you notice here, home page confirmation, home. is the one word. So each word must start with caps letter only. Each word must start with caps letter only. Okay. So here I think I have missed one more thing. Interface. Okay. Each letter must start with caps letter only. Okay. And also the same rules are applied for interface also. But don't worry, what is the difference between class interface we are going to discuss. But when it comes to class and interface are going to be the same category. So they are going to be declared with starting with caps letter, and each word must start with the caps letter. Okay. So this is about the identification for your classes. Okay. Now let me go here and show you. So here, if you notice here, these are the user defined. I have defined. But when you go inside of this one, expected conditions. So these are predefined classes that are available in Java. So class always starts with caps letter. Okay, and if it has any words, expected is one word, conditions is one word. So for each word, they are going to start with caps letter, expected conditions. Okay, and if you wanted to see any other classes, let me just go WebDriver wait. So this WebDriver wait also a class. So if you notice here, WebDriver wait, there are three words. For each word, they are maintaining caps letter, caps letter, caps letter. And then if you notice, this is the fluent wait, another class. So they are maintaining fluent is one word and wait is one word. Okay. So when you are trying to declare any classes, you must follow the rules. So it doesn't mean if you declare like this, home page confirmation, you can declare no problem. But when you follow these standards, definitely I can't say this is the class or function, I don't know. So definitely when you follow the rules and regulations are like standards, definitely you can name it what it is. Otherwise, it's difficult. Right? Okay. Now, the same rules are applied for interfaces also. Now, next one, variables. I can just keep like this. Page confirmation. Okay, second one, variables. So first of all, what is variable? Okay, don't worry, we'll discuss. So variable is nothing but the value. Let's say if you are trying to store any properties of your particular class, let's say you have a vehicle, for example. So it has its own properties like color. So color is going to be red, some color, right? So this is going to be string type, red, and then height, something. So some 6 feet, something height, width, length, some 4 feet, length, some 8 feet, weight, some 100 kgs, 1000 kgs. So when you are trying to talk about, or when you are trying to define characteristics of your property or class, definitely you have to use some variables. So to store characteristics or properties of your class file, we have to use the variable. So when we are declaring variable, so what is the standards that we have to follow? Okay. So same thing, let's say I'm trying to use the color, for example. Okay, let me just remove home page confirm. If you are trying to declare a variable always starts with the lowercase, camel case, we have to use it. First word must be with lowercase and then followed by whatever words that you are getting, you should have the uppercase or caps. Okay. So here, if you notice here, by seeing this one, I can tell, okay, home page confirmation and home page confirmation. Two things are there. Which one is variable and which one is class? I can clearly tell about that. Okay. I can clearly tell about that one. And also, so when you are trying to declare classes, please make sure you are not crossing more than 2 to 3 words. Don't give like lengthy names, some whatever, some name. No, don't do that one. maximum 2 or 3 words, maximum. But some cases, okay, if it is not possible, we can go for up to 4 words also. But it doesn't mean like you can't restrict with 4 or 5 words. You can have like enough. There is no limit. You can have it 200 letters also, but that's not the standard way. Always try to keep 2 or 3 words so that it will be readable. Okay, and then variables also you can use up to 250 characters, but don't try to use the lengthy variables. Maximum 2 or 3 words. But most of the cases, variables are suggested to be used 2 words, maximum 2 words. Okay, and then next one, function. Okay, what is function or what is the method? Okay, so here if you notice here, let's say you have a car. The station car is a class. Okay, variables are like properties, something like color, height, red, weight, all this. And then functions. Functioning means what? How car is going to be run, how that brakes are working, right? How that accelerator is working. So if you have a car, this is an object in which there is some functionality is running, right? So whenever you are going to talk about the functionality, so that is nothing but a function. So here just brakes has its own functionality, but when it comes to red color, it doesn't have any functionality. It's a just property or character, right? So when it comes to the braking or like accelerating or like riding, something like, so these will have some functions internally it is going to work. So when you are talking about the functions, definitely it has its own significance. So let's say home page confirmation, okay, followed by open closed brackets. This is called a function. So here if you notice here, same name, but I'm following the different patterns. Here if it is all are caps, if you see starts with lowercase and then followed with uppercase, and here lowercase followed by the uppercase, and then but the end I'm going to have the open closed brackets. Okay, open closed brackets, but later this has its own name. It's called the method signature, but we'll talk later when it comes to that point. We are going to talk. Okay, this one can be one more. Sorry. Inside we can have the parameters also. This can be an empty or this can be a parameter, but don't worry what is parameters. Now we are going to talk later. Okay, so function can be an empty function or can have multiple parameters also. Okay, so this is how we are going to identify a function. Next one, constructor. Okay, so constructor, now let me just copy this one, put it here and open close bracket. Okay, so constructor is going to help us to initialize an object or instance variables. Okay, don't worry, constructor is a big topic we are going to discuss. Okay, so here if you notice here, constructor always is going to be with class name followed by open close brackets. If you notice here, class name, this is the okay, this is the class name, and this is also class name, but followed by open close bracket. Whatever class it has, always constructor is going to be the class name only. Okay, constructors are going to be part of the class. So when you are declaring constructor, it is going to be with class name followed by open close brackets. So here also we can have empty or default constructor or parameterized constructor. Okay, now next one, block. Okay, so block. Blocks are going to be like this, open and closed brackets. See, if you notice here, I have just opened and closed these brackets, curly braces. This is called normal brackets or curly braces. Okay. So when you are trying to declare a block, you are going to declare like this. Just open and close. In between, you are going to write your code, whatever code it is. So here two types, instance block and static block. Okay. So what is instance block? So when you don't mention anything here, it's the instance block. Okay. So when you just mention something, and here if you provide a label like this static, this is called the static block. But there is some importance for that we are going to see later. Okay. So here you can write the piece of code. The next one, the last one, I guess, constants. Okay. So what are the constants? Okay. Here there is no much difference between constants and variables, but constants, when you are going to declare a constant, what is going to happen? Constant is nothing but it is not going to be changed forever. That means it's the static value. Okay. So this is also a variable, but which is the static variable. How we are going to declare? So we are going to declare like this. Okay. See, all are going to be the caps, and each word must be separated by underscore. Okay. So when I see here, now let me just maximize. Okay. So if you notice here, for each and everything, it has some different pattern. Okay. Class has some different pattern, right? Variable, some different pattern. Function, constructor, and constants. So these are the members in Java. These are the members, and how to identify them? It's easy to identify by seeing the pattern that we have declared while creating or writing our piece of code. Okay, now let me go to the anything. So maybe I'm going to ask you guys, so you can just tell what is the variable or what is the function, what is the constructor here. Now let me just go back to any small thing. So here, if you see here, first I will tell, maybe I can ask you questions here. Okay. So here, so this is class here, right? And then what is this here? Can anyone tell what is this? Timeout exception. By seeing that format, you can tell timeout exception, open, close.
Variable.
Okay. So this is not a variable. And here, if you notice here, this is the function. Timeout exception and open, closed brackets. That can be an empty or parameterized one, right? Okay. Now coming to this one, what is this? WebDriver wait.
It's a block.
Constructor.
Yes, it's a constructor. See, if you notice here, this is the class. Okay, constructor is which follows the same as class name followed by the open closed brackets with or without parameters. Okay, so here when it comes to here, what is this here? Driver. So driver is a variable. You notice here, driver is a variable. Since it has only one word, it started with small. Okay, let me go to one more small class so that you'll have. Okay, I don't want to show my class. Yeah. 1 minute. Next time test. Okay, it has so many things here. Okay, so if you notice here, so here, what is this run status?
Variable.
Variable.
It's a variable. Okay. Now, next one. So what is this get started time? Get started time. So just
That's
take a look.
function.
It's a function. Get is the small and started is one word, caps and cap followed by the
For
quotes.
block.
Yeah, followed by the open closed. Okay, so here let me see any blocks are there. I don't think here any blocks. Don't think this is also a block, but this has its own meaning. So because it has so many things, but we have discussed only block, it will not have anything. If it is static, it will have the only static label. But here these blocks are completely different. These blocks are associated with the respective function. That we are going to see. Now let me show you any. Right, I extend text. This is interface 1 minute. Small minute, actually, right? 1 minute. Reading file on test. Let me go here. Extend test. Okay. Log status, I guess. 1 minute. Log status. Okay. So if you see here, something is in caps. But yeah, these are the constants, but there are different types of constants. But this is not the pure constants, but yeah, maybe you can see later that one constants how they are going to declare. But I can show you in one of our projects. I think we have declared constants. 1 minute. Pages it is something. Wait. Here just constants. Just 1 minute. Base class products. Resources, test config, pages, constants, data. Okay, so here if you notice, this is how we are going to declare the constants, page title underscore home page. But generally you can separate with underscore, page title underscore product space something. So when we are trying to declare constants, these values will never ever change. That is the representation for us. By seeing this one, okay, this is the constant, okay, but our value that has been assigned to this one, okay, this is not going to be changed. That's how we'll have an understanding. So I'm going to stop it for now. So if you notice here, today we just had discussed like these two topics, identifiers and keywords. Okay, now tomorrow we are going to start our basic programming for these keywords. What are those? 1 minute. Data types. Data types, we have total 8 keywords. We are going to start with them. How we are going to use it. Okay, so we are going to start with the data types. So simple programming and simple thing, how we are going to do it. Okay, so if you are not installed Java, MAVEN and IntelliJ, try to install. And then tomorrow onwards, I am going to start with whatever softwares and technology or tools that we have installed yesterday. Okay, so yeah, only basics are very important. So if you understand basics very well, yeah, you are going to be perfect in the upcoming classes. So I'm stopping for now. So if you have any questions, yeah, we can discuss now. Yeah, okay. So if you don't have any questions, I'm going to stop it. Yeah, we'll see tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow, just make sure, yeah, if you have not installed, try to install and keep it ready so that it is easy for you to practice. Okay, so I'm stopping.